Everybody, thank you so much for joining me tonight. The real Bobby Dirkens. Bobby Dirkens had to step out for a second. I think he got too excited and passed out. This is my reaction to the Clemson Georgia Tech game. This is post-game report. And man, what a great game! We knew that this was probably going to be the deal. This was probably what was going to happen. We knew that Clemson was going to open up a can. They actually, from what I can remember, covered the spread, which is a big deal for everyone who has money on this game, except unless you put money on that they wouldn't cover the spread. So anyway, Clemson looks really good. 52-14 over Georgia Tech. Well, I mean, we saw Georgia Tech. We saw what we knew what Georgia Tech was going to do. And in fact, I'll tell you this, I think that they did quite well considering the offensive change. I think they did really good considering, I mean, just the new coach, guys. Come on, man. I hand it to him. I don't know how they did it. There's a bunch of you on here, Josh Watson, Texas Savage, Parker Henderson, Prince 6'1", Clay Geiger. A bunch of you is on here. And here's the thing that a bunch of y'all are saying right now. I mean, you're right. We need work. There's some stuff we got work on, but we still won 52-14. And listen to me. It was the first game of the season. All right, it's first game of the flipping season. So I know that Trevor threw 4 interceptions last year. In this game, he threw 2. So that means that for the next 11 games, you know, he can only throw 2 interceptions. We know that's not going to happen. We also know that Trevor didn't get the full start until the 5th game, and then he got knocked out of it. So a little bit of that has to do with it, because the more and more you throw the ball, the more and more chances of the ball being an interception. I mean, that doesn't make me a genius. I know that. I mean, that's one of those deals that the more you throw the ball, the more likely, you know, you can throw an interception. So I think that we should probably just kind of chill out to a point, but I do agree with you. We got a lot of cleaning up to do. My Carolina Skies, it's good to see you. Thanks for showing up. Prince 6'1's in here. My buddy, Tiger Nation's on here. I know that his performance was underwhelming to a point, but I will tell you this, that and I'm reading some of these comments, that's why I'm hesitating. I will say that Clemson Carson's in here, but I really think that I think we're fine. I do agree that we got to clean up some stuff for next week, but I will promise you this, man. I will promise you this, and this is truth, man, that the defense looked really solid. Oh, their offense was horrible. Guys, they got down to the 1-yard line. And on a defense that's horrible, a team who's used to running the ball, even though it was a different offensive style, would have punched the ball in from a yard out. So I'm not worried about next week. Right now, Texas A&M's playing Texas State. They're up 38-0 in the 4th quarter. I'm not worried. I mean, we just won 52-14, and we didn't. Even though Georgia Tech's not that great, we didn't beat Charlotte like this. You understand what I'm saying? So, though I agree that there's things that we got to clean up. I mean, we're fine. Prince 6'1 says, if we played horrible and we won 52-14, imagine our potential. Yeah. My Carolina Sky says Trevor looked a little lazy, maybe. Clemson could have made it worse. And I think that some of those shorter passes you can get lazy on. I never played quarterback, but if you ever watch quarterbacks who's having to throw those shorter passes, the truth is that it is easy to get complacent with it because they're only, 5, 7, 10 yards that way, or kind of over the middle, and you just try not to throw a pick real quick. Alpha Wolf just super chatted $2. Now, Bobby Dirkens, I know him. Bobby Dirkens, he's trying to get you to buy him beer. Now, for me, that is fine. You can buy him all the beer that you want. I appreciate the super chats. I don't know what you would super chat me for. Maybe a new computer to do the show. I don't know. I'll take that. But Bobby Dirkens, he wants all that beer. And between you and I heard he's a lightweight. I heard he can't handle it. Yeah, even Bud Light. You're right. But thank you, Alpha Wolf, for the $2 donation tonight. I do appreciate it. I can pass it along to Bobby, or I can put it towards my buy a new computer fund so I can do these videos on here. But I do appreciate it. My Carolina Sky said Trevor ran more in this game than he did last season. Yeah, and Bobby Dirkens did a show the other day where he talked about that Trevor Lawrence is actually more of a true deal threat quarterback than what a lot of people really gives him the credit for. Here's the reason why. Unlike most common thought, people believe that that a dual threat quarterback is a guy who runs first and then he throws, and he lines up at quarterback. No, a true dual threat quarterback is supposed to be able to first and foremost be able to throw the ball and lead the offense. I know that's not what we've been taught. I know that's what that's not what's been shoved down our throat. What's been shoved down our throat is that these guys who are really good athletes are put at quarterback, and if they've got an okay arm, we call him a quarterback, a dual threat quarterback. But no, a dual threat quarterback is a quarterback who can run, but who first and foremost can throw the ball, and he really is. Aggressive Health said, I didn't know that they got rid of their coach, but it looked like all option to me. That's funny. Clemson Carson says he likes Michael Dukes and he likes Maluzzi. Yeah, those guys look physical. Lynn J. Dixon, outrageous. Obviously, I don't even feel like on this I even have to mention how ETN did. ETN started off with a couple of runs that was, lackluster. He fumbled the ball. It's like, oh, God. It's like all of a sudden that one play, how some people react to it, that one play, oh, no, he's falling apart. He fumbled the ball. Then he turned around and had a 90-yard touchdown. He finished the night with over 200 yards running. All right? Turn around, you have Lynn J. Dixon. Lynn J. Dixon could have had more yards. We got Dukes and we got Maluzzi run the ball. We had Wrencher running the ball pretty solid tonight. Chase Bryce Chop just said I enjoyed seeing Chase get that pass tonight. I'll tell you this. The guy could start basically anywhere in the country. Chip says, good game to grow from, mistakes in. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things that they do need to fix before they play A&M next Saturday. I think that it was fun to see Tyson get out there and do what he did. Josh Watson said Chase threw better than Trevor. LOL. Here's the funny thing about that. No, I know what you're implying. I know what you're talking about. Trevor, and I don't think that you're not saying that Trevor's the man. I'm just saying that is quite common with second string quarterbacks who have the talent, because you have to remember they're not the man. So if you're the guy who, though he does have talent, he has to come out and he's playing cleanup duty. He does not have the weight of the team on him. Trevor Lawrence does. Trevor Lawrence had such a great performance last year that all the weight in the world, more weight probably than just anything, is on him that we could imagine. All right? Clemson Carson said that Trevor said in the post game that second interception, he was trying to throw out of bounds, the ball came out of his hand wrong. We do have to go back to Trevor did run down that guy and knock him out of bounds. Defense come up and made the stop. So But though I agree with you, and here's the deal: Chase Bryce is a really, really talented quarterback, but at the end of the day, I mean, we all know that he's the backup. And though he's talented, and I think he could start anywhere, what I mean by that, he's the backup, is he doesn't have the weight of everything on his shoulders, and that changes a lot. There's a lot of people who will put that guy in, which I don't think anybody's saying that really about Chase. It's just there's a growing concern about how Trevor played tonight. Trevor won. Let me tell you this, just the presence of him walking out on the field will mix up a defense just enough to where they're like, we got to respect him, to where it opens up holes for the running game. Just his presence of walking out here. A bad, broken down Trevor Lawrence. A Trevor Lawrence who's kind of off of his game. Listen to this. A Trevor Lawrence who is off his game, just and I know the second string came in, third string and all that, just led a team to 52-14 victory. So I think he's fine. And I think Chase is fine. Clemson Carson said when Trevor threw the ball downfield, he was on point. Yeah, you're right. That's what I was saying just a second ago, is that when you're throwing shorter passes, and I coach Little League ball, so I'm not near the caliber of those guys, but I'm just being honest. Real quick, Michael Fornbacher says, hey, Bobby Dirkens, hello from Vegas. Great to see you, buddy. Glad you're on here. Josh Watson says, play calling suspect. No, I don't think it's suspect. I think he was being nice because Dabo Swinney knows he could have put 70 up on those guys easily. But what I was saying about throwing the ball short, quarterbacks can get lazy on that. And what I was saying was I coach Little League ball, and the truth is, when you're calling shorter passes, I've seen them be, according to angle on it, can be just as dangerous as throwing a bomb downfield into double coverage. I know you're going to think I'm crazy. If sometimes you can think, especially if you got a kid who's got a good arm. I've coached a kid who has a pretty doggone good arm, and he's 12. I've seen him. I don't want to say lazy. It sounds like it's a shot towards him. It's not a shot towards him at all. He's talented. But at the same time, you're sitting there going, hey, I got this short pass, man. That's nothing. I really don't have to pay attention to it. And you have a DB or a linebacker who's paying attention, comes through and picks the ball off. So I think that on shorter passes, the more and more you do them, the more the quarterback can become a little more lackluster and not really pay attention. Because, let's be honest. If you had the arm and the brain and the ability and the size of Trevor Lawrence, would you really focus too much on a normal pass after you've taken hundreds and thousands of reps? No. No, not at all. Chops, you said Utah having a hard time with BYU. That's good to see. Yeah, that game's on. I've got that on over here, and you were 100% right. It's kind of odd. Utah, I've already said right now, yeah, it's 9-6 Utah, and the bicycle peddlers, that's what Bobby Dirkens calls them. I don't call them that. Bobby Dirkens calls them the bicycle peddlers from BYU. I will tell you, dude, everybody's saying that Utah is going to go win the conference. And here's the thing I always come back to. They're going to win the Pac. The reason I'm not sold on that, and I'm not knocking Tyler Huntley, but Tyler Huntley, first of all, he's had physical problems. That's one thing. So you never know when a quarterback or a player is going to go down if they're prone to injury. And then the next thing is, even when he was in, he was not killing it. Parker Henderson said, elders, you got it. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, they should put elders on the back of their jersey. That'd be hilarious. Prince 6'1" said something just a second ago, and I didn't acknowledge it. Not that I was ignoring it. I was in the middle of talking, and Prince knows me, so he knows how I'm. He said, why show our best play calling against Georgia Tech? Yeah, you're right. We just called called conservative ball. We didn't throw the ball that much downfield. We didn't have to go crazy on play calling with them. Lawrence threw half the amount of his interceptions from last year, including the playoffs, in one game, and we still won 52-14 in a conference game. Yeah, we don't need to. Cody says, he missed a few passes, but I'm not concerned about anything. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm with you 100%. Yeah, I tell you this, the defense, Clemson, right now the Clemson highlights are replaying on ESPN right now. It's just awesome to sit there and watch it, man. It's awesome. Julian Lampkin says, "Go Texas." Yeah, I've got y'all's game up next. Got your game right up next. Right now they're showing the replay of the 90-yard touchdown. I mean, I'm telling you, when he hits that stride, dear God. Yeah, Frank Ladson does look amazing. There's a bunch of players who looks amazing on that team. Xavier Thomas, it was good to see KJ Henry getting out there doing his thing. So, Parker Henderson says he believes Tech will be fully transitioned to spread in 2 years. Jeff Collins is a very good player. Player. I've lost my mind. I'm watching highlights as I'm talking. He's a very good coach. 52-14. And I'm going to tell you this, for the next, until Clemson plays Texas A&M, I'm going to go ahead and tell you those 2 interceptions, they're going to be talked about over and over and over and over and over and over. That tells you how good a player is when all they can talk about is 2 mishaps of a great player. That tells you how good a player is. But I believe Trevor Lawrence not only has the coaching staff around him, I believe that he has the home life and the home support to go, hey, man, don't be cocky about stuff, you know. Jackson Carman looked great. There's a bunch of players. Somebody just said on here, so many players who did great last night. But, well, Bobby Dirkens, he has his buy me a beer. Somebody bought me a beer on here. I think I'm passing that along to Bobby. Probably am. Somebody said, here comes Feinbaum. I'm watching the Utah game. They're at halftime, so I don't know what Feinbaum's going to say, but it is what, I mean, it is. I'll tell you, here's my opinion on Feinbaum. I'm going to tell you my thoughts on Feinbaum. I believe Feinbaum is a genius. I believe, seriously, but let me explain. I'm about to pull the Bobby Dirkens there. Don't get all, what do you mean? First of all, Feinbaum is in the media. Feinbaum is just trying to get ratings. So I think sometimes he just steps back and goes, what pisses off people the most and get them to watch my show and call in and tell me what an idiot I am, and they show up faithfully every day. And then he says it. Because he'll turn around and he'll say something absolutely just stupid about Clemson, and then all of a sudden he turns around and he compliments them. It tells you exactly what he's doing. It's just a job to him. And he plays off like he doesn't care. And he doesn't care because he's making money doing what he's doing. I mean, that's Feinbaum. That's any journalist. So, well, guys, listen to me. I'm going to wrap this thing up. I might try to, it's almost midnight here. I got to work tomorrow, and I want to try to catch a little bit more of this. That's the only thing about West Coast games. Bald Bigfoot, I got to stop here. I've never seen you on here, but Bald Bigfoot, I'm glad you're here. A bunch of you on here. Chip says, if you think he frustrates Clemson, he is a UT grad and only talks about Bama. Yeah, I can see that. Parker Henderson says, you're right. He knows exactly what he's doing. Yeah, he does. Chase Henderson, glad you're here, buddy, says he kept the playbook basic. Yep. Volunteer Roadshow, why do I owe the honor? He said, I've seen a bald Bigfoot once. It really is scary. Me too. Jamie Caslin, hope I said that right. You said Clemson destroyed Tech more than I thought. Prince 6'1", I really don't know if I want to repeat that. I'm just laughing. That's all I'm going to say. Coastal 79 says, go Tigers. Hey, guys, listen, I appreciate y'all coming on. And College Football Talk says, ACC better than the SEC, yes or no? I love Clemson. You know, I'm not a conference guy. I'm just going to tell you how it is. The SEC is better than ACC. That is just what it is. But I will tell you this. It is not what it was, say, like 5-6 years ago. The SEC is the strongest conference in college football, but it is not head and shoulders above all the other conferences like it was 5 or 6 years ago. I mean, think about what was it. And I'll have to go, and I'll have to pinpoint. I know somebody's going, he's got his years off wrong. I'm sorry, it's just right off the top of my head. Go girl brain and chill out if you're just going to throw crap at me. But it was like 5 or 6 years ago. What they had Bama, LSU, and Arkansas. That's before the whole Petrino thing went on. They were Arkansas. They were all in the top 5, and they were legit. It was legitimate. It wasn't a bunch of media hype. It wasn't this, oh, Michigan's back, Michigan sucks, or Florida, man, they're incredible. I'm still getting crap about what I said about Florida last week. Well, here's the deal. Sorry, Florida, you look like crap against a rebuilding Miami team. You were undisciplined. You were cocky about nothing. I mean, my God, what do I supposed to say about it? But yeah, the SEC is still the toughest conference in college football. I will say this: I do think that there are tougher games in the SEC. Duh, I do agree with that. But I also think that there's inconsistencies in the SEC, and they blame it on, well, it's because we're playing tough. There are teams who will beat certain teams in the SEC in certain weeks. It's not because the SEC is so tough. It's because they're inconsistent in their play. And if you watch it throughout their seasons, it's quite evident. But nobody has the manhood to say it out loud, and I just did. It's not because I think that I'm somebody great. It's just obvious. Today, I wrote an article, and by the way, this is a shameless plug. I am on a new subscription-based fan site run by the Volunteer Roadshow. I don't know if it has posted yet, by the way. I don't know if it's went live, so Volunteer Roadshow, forgive me for not knowing that exactly before I mentioned this, but Volunteer Roadshow has actually put together an entire new subscription-based fan pride site. Starting out with volunteers, because he's volunteer, and then for Clemson, he's growing it from there. Pigskin Pete is taking care of basically the entire content there for the Clemson site. He's been kind enough, they've been nice enough to ask me to be a part of it. I've come on there, we've actually shot a couple of shows. James Jackson says, hopefully you don't stop on YouTube. No, I'm not going anywhere, I'm still here. And Chop says, put a link in there. I'll have to get a link, place it in there. I know it's supposed to launch very, very soon. We've already started writing some articles for it. I wrote an article for it. We've already shot a video for it, but you'll have to check it out. Volunteer Roadshow was on here. I can't even remember where I was going with this, but I did want to mention that. But you know, one of the things that I step back and I look at is that I will see you in the valley. Hello, Bobby. Last seen you at the beautiful Clemson victory. Well, it's good to see you. Forgive me if I don't remember you. I'm so sorry. That's what's up. Said you're going to buy that $1 million house now. I hope so. But no, going back, and I kind of lost my train of thought. I did want to tell you about howardsrock.net. Howardsrock.net. Pigskin Pete and I are doing a show. It's called Pete and Bobby Running Down the Hill. And then I recently wrote an article. Tiger Nate, who you see on the comment board every now and again, he actually wrote some incredible articles. Pigskin Pete wrote an amazing article called, what was it, Dabo the Disruptor. And it was outrageous because he just laid out how many teams he had beat, and since then, their teams have actually went down. namely LSU and Ohio State. So great articles. So you'll have to check that out. I will try to put up a link in there. But I appreciate it, everybody supporting the channel. Everybody's come on here and said howdy. Clemson girls on here. May there. That's a Bobby Dirkens for you. But thank you so much for just being on here. I really have a good time. And I'll tell you who really makes it fun. Every one of you. I really do enjoy so much of just talking to y'all. The commentary. Between you and I, it's very difficult to keep up with all of y'all and what you say. And I try to remember all of you. And sometimes I don't. I admit it because I'm just a regular old guy. But Bobby Dirkens, he's going nowhere. Even Volunteer Roadshow says he's got to get on the road. Volunteer Roadshow's got something very special on, and I'm just honored to be part of it. And I've got to get up with him and see him and hang out with him. And I'm hoping he'll get me some time to hang out with some of those famous volunteer players that he's been hanging out with. So, yeah, I threw it out there. I want to hang out with Leonard Little and Peerless Price and T. Martin and Jeremy Pruitt. Wouldn't hurt my feelings at all, even though I'm a Clemson fan. Chip says, we appreciate you. For those of us who grew up in the upstate and have moved away, you make us feel at home. Man, that's all I really want to do. I just want to have a good time. And, of course, Bobby Dirkens. I like Bobby Dirkens more than I like me. Bobby Dirkens is a lot of fun. But hopefully between Bobby Dirkens, who's on here the majority of the time, and then me, who cares? Hopefully we do make you feel at home. It's a great time to be a Clemson Tiger. It's a great time to be pulling for them. And if you've been a fan for a long time, you know how rare this is. I say all the time we're living in the good old days of Clemson football because, you know, up until over the past 5, 6, 7 years with Sweeney, the truth is that all I had to sit and listen to was about the good old days of the 80s with Danny Ford. And it was really that way. You know, there was a few seasons that were okay, but nothing like that. We didn't have our first 10-win season since 1989 until Sweeney took over a few years into it. So that just tells you what we've had to put up with, what we had to deal with, and all the disappointments, and how close we were to 10-win seasons and never could do it. It's just a really, really big deal. So I'm just really, really happy to be able to make things enjoyable for you. Chop says he had to watch the game in easily tonight. I don't know why you did that. Unless that was the only place you had to watch it. He said, you know how many Gamecocks are around. This is interesting. To me, this has always really been interesting. Clemson, for those of you who don't know, Clemson is in Pickens County. And in Pickens, South Carolina, which is in Pickens County, which is only like 20 miles from Clemson, if that, maybe 15, tons of Gamecock fans. I mean, a massive, massive amount of Gamecock fans. Of course, there's Clemson fans there, but there are a ton of Gamecock fans in Pickens, South Carolina, the same county who has the Clemson Tigers. I have absolutely no clue why. And then if you go down to around Anderson, South Carolina, in Anderson County, there's a place called Pelzer Williamston. For those of you who doesn't know the upstate of South Carolina, I'm just naming out names you're like, those are weird names. You're right. Here they are. They're only like 25 miles from Clemson University. Tons of Gamecocks there. Seriously. I mean, it just is crazy how many Gamecocks fans are there. And they're like an hour and a half from Columbia. It doesn't make sense. Chop says that he's trying to beat cancer right now, and he was over at Baptist. I'm going to give you first of all, I hope you do well. I hope you the very best. Hope you kick that stuff. It's awful. I got some family members who beat it, and I believe you can too. And we definitely wish you the best, man. And I appreciate you jumping on here and, you know, watching us and me and Bobby, us. And just hope you the very best, man. Hope you kick that stuff. It's nasty, it's awful, it's horrible. Volunteer Roadshow, his son is pretty much beat leukemia, but his son Sam has been fighting leukemia, and it's been rough. Been a lot of support for him and support for you, my friend, and others who come on here who tells us, man, we watch you, and that does a lot for me. It makes me feel good, you know. I just hope you the very, very best, and hope everything's all right. What I was going to say was, I was actually, if you're talking about Easley Baptist, I was born there. Yeah. If you're Easley Baptist, I was born there. Well, here's a cup to you, my friend. 74, 82 here. You said 1974, 1982. Yeah, y'all, I'm 36. I'm about to be 37. I can't believe it. I feel 15. John, you'll forgive me if I said that wrong. I said that was fun. Georgia Tech had a better defense than I thought. Yeah. And that guy right there, he has enough drive and want. He'll do quite well. Clemson All In 811-618 says he was born in 2004. My friend, now you're making me feel old. You're what, 14, 15, and you're on here? I'm glad you're on here, buddy. Well, I'm looking at this Utah game. Everybody's telling us they're going to win the Pac. They're going to beat Oregon. I'm not sold on that. Although I did my Bobby, shameless, I can't even talk right now. A shameless plug for a video I did. I did a video on Oregon and Auburn, and I told Oregon, if you want us to take you seriously and you lose to Auburn, who I know is eventually going to lose a bunch of games that they shouldn't lose in the regular season, don't get mad if you run the table from that point out and you get left out of the playoffs. Don't be pissed. And I also saw, last I checked, and I didn't check it today, but yesterday I checked, and Vegas had Auburn as a favorite. Because the SEC plays with a chip on their shoulder in the regular season. They do a really good job in the regular season. It's almost like we have to defend our mama's honor. And once they lose certain games in the season and it's time to play the bowl games, guess what happens? They give up all pride. Seriously. I mean, seriously, go look at it. They give up all pride. But next week's going to be rocking at Texas A&M. Clemson's going to be playing here in Clemson. Texas A&M's coming in first time since Bryce McNeil played for them. It's interesting. Really, really interesting. I do believe Clemson's going to win that game by about 10 points. So I believe that you're going to see the very, very best out of Texas A&M because Texas A&M, Jimbo Fisher has a chip on his shoulder about what Clemson ruined a lot for him. And that was part of that article today that I read that Pigskin Pete wrote on howardsrock.net. Part of the Fan Pride site is a subscription base. Go in, you can check it out. That Clemson really basically pissed on his parade. And after that national championship with Jameis Winston, everything started going downhill from there. Clemson was one of the main contributors, kept them out of winning the ACC championship for multiple years after that, and everything started turning south. So he's going to come in with a really good game. I don't know your feelings about Jimbo Fisher, but it really doesn't matter when it comes to coaching football. He's a very good football coach. He can call plays. He's brilliant. In fact, he's very brilliant at calling football plays, and he's a schemer. He knows how to call an offense. So, well, listen, guys, I wanted to shut this down in about 20 minutes. Now I'm 35 minutes in. I appreciate all the support, all the good times. I hope that all of y'all are doing well. Had some great comments recently. I appreciate the super chats y'all have been giving. It does help me because I do spend time away from my family when I do this. And I'm not poor mouthing. I'm not poor mouthing. I'm not just saying this. I really mean it. Thank y'all. Y'all make me want to get back on here and make videos, and I appreciate it. And I'm just having the flipping time of my life, whether there's one person watching or there's a million. I'm having the time of my life. I'll pass that along to y'all from Bobby Dirkens. He's definitely having the time of his life. I think he could have a time of his life in an abandoned gas station. That's just Bobby. But I appreciate that, all of y'all. Appreciate all the super chats. Appreciate all the thumbs up. If you do like what I'm doing, hit the subscribe button. It really does help me. Turn on notifications. It lets you know when I come on here and do my thing. And hopefully you like it. And if not, there's a million channels out there. But everybody else in here, you've been great. All right, I'm going to let you go. I guess I'll leave you with Bobby's signature line. If you keep showing up, I'll keep showing out, which I'm way different than Bobby. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. Way different than Bobby. Go Tigers, 52-14. I'm out. Thanks, guys.